like on the Stones and Leon Russell, and Leonard Cohen. So it was on my bucket. Ray Charles.
Elton John towers among music's most decorated artists. The British piano master transformed pop music through flamboyant showmanship and timeless melodies.
Much, but it's the best I can do.
His catalog spans 5 decades, selling over 300 million records worldwide. Behind the rhinestone glasses and platform boots lived a devoted music fan who studied his peers obsessively. Born Reginald Dwight in Pinner, 1947, he mastered classical piano before discovering rock and roll's rebellious spirit.
I wanted to choose a name, and the saxophone player in the band was called Elton, so I chose that name.
By 1970, his career exploded with Your Song, launching him towards superstardom. Fame never dimmed his appreciation for fellow musicians. Across countless interviews spanning his legendary journey, John enthusiastically praised specific groups that captured his imagination. From soul revolutionaries to rock pioneers, these 7 acts earned his eternal admiration. 7. The Band. The Canadian-American collective showed Elton John how roots music could sound completely modern.
All that false instruction.
When discussing acts he genuinely loved, John frequently mentioned this group. Their organic approach to songwriting deeply moved him. They didn't chase trends or copy anyone else. The honesty in their music felt refreshing during an era of excess and pretension. John appreciated how they let the songs breathe naturally without forcing anything.
Impressed to be in the same room as him. So I value it very much.
Robbie Robertson's guitar paired beautifully with Garth Hudson's keyboard textures. Levon Helm's drumming and vocals brought Southern authenticity. Richard Manuel and Rick Danko completed a lineup where everyone contributed something special. Their 1968 debut, Music from Big Pink, revolutionized rock music by stripping away excess. The album arrived like a breath of fresh air during psychedelia's peak. Instead of elaborate studio tricks, they focused on genuine performances and heartfelt delivery. Songs like The Weight and Up on Cripple Creek felt timeless despite being brand new. They wrote about characters and stories rather than typical rock subjects. John admired how they created entire worlds through their lyrics. Every album felt like opening a history book filled with real people. Their narratives transported listeners to different times and places. The band made Americana cool without being corny or self-conscious about it. The band proved that excellent musicians didn't need to show off constantly. Restraint and taste mattered more than flash. Their dedication to serving the song rather than individual egos influenced John's own approach to arranging his material. He learned that simplicity often communicated more powerfully than complexity. 6. The Beach Boys. The California Harmony Kings demonstrated how pop music could be sophisticated and accessible simultaneously.
Go steady, 'cause it wouldn't be right to leave their best girl home now on Saturday night.
Brian Wilson's production genius captivated John throughout his life. He considered Pet Sounds among the greatest albums ever created. That record showed what studio experimentation could achieve. Wilson's arrangements combined beauty with innovation in ways nobody had attempted before.
Wilson's house with Danny Hutton and Three Dog Night was just the most amazing, surreal trip for me. Here we are in Brian Wilson's house.
John studied those tracks like a student examining masterworks in a museum. The vocal arrangements alone inspired countless musicians. Those layered harmonies created textures nobody had heard before. Wilson treated the recording studio like an instrument itself. He combined orchestral elements with rock instrumentation in groundbreaking ways. The Beach Boys made complexity sound effortless and natural. Every harmony part fit perfectly into the larger sonic picture they painted. John praised how they evolved beyond simple surf songs. Their later work explored complex emotions and musical ideas. Songs like God Only Knows and Wouldn't It Be Nice balanced beautiful melodies with inventive production. Wilson's ambition pushed pop music into new territory. He proved that commercial radio could handle ambitious artistic statements. The Beach Boys expanded what mainstream audiences would accept and embrace. 5. The Rolling Stones. The British blues rockers showed Elton John how attitude and swagger could define a band. Their rebellious energy and tireless touring impressed him endlessly. While the Beatles represented Polish, the Stones embodied raw excitement. John admired both approaches but connected deeply with the Stones' longevity. They proved rock and roll could be a lifetime commitment rather than a youthful phase.
If you listen to that record, you can tell it's me playing piano.
Their refusal to slow down or soften inspired John's own relentless work ethic. Mick Jagger's stage presence revolutionized what frontmen could be. Keith Richards created riffs that entire generations recognized instantly. Their rhythm section drove songs with an unstoppable groove. The Stones took American blues and transformed it into something uniquely their own. They honored their influences while creating their own distinct identity. Nobody could mistake a Stones song for anyone else's work. John marveled at their ability to stay relevant across decades. They never stopped working or lost their hunger. Songs like Gimme Shelter and Wild Horses demonstrated their range beyond typical rock. The Stones could be tender or terrifying depending on the song. Their versatility kept audiences guessing what would come next. They refused to be predictable or repeat themselves endlessly, like many peers. 4. Cream. The British power trio revolutionized what three musicians could accomplish together. Eric Clapton's guitar wizardry, Jack Bruce's melodic bass innovations, and Ginger Baker's jazz-influenced drumming created unprecedented chemistry.
You go, yeah.
Elton John watched them redefine blues rock through sheer virtuosity and improvisation. They proved that technical excellence didn't require sacrificing soul or accessibility. Their concerts became legendary for extended jams that took familiar blues into unexplored territories. John admired how each member brought a distinct personality while serving the collective sound.
Picture him this week. Have you ever seen him tonight? I don't know what he looks like. And the record was Heartbreak Hotel.
Clapton's tone was instantly recognizable, cutting through any mix with clarity and emotion. Bruce's bass lines functioned as melodies themselves rather than simple rhythm support. Baker's polyrhythmic approach brought sophistication from jazz into rock's raw framework. Together they created music that was both cerebral and visceral simultaneously. Songs like Sunshine of Your Love and White Room became templates for hard rock's future. Their ability to craft memorable hooks within extended improvisations impressed John tremendously. Cream showed that radio-friendly singles and experimental album tracks could coexist peacefully. They balanced commercial appeal with artistic ambition better than most contemporaries. Their influence stretched across multiple generations of rock musicians. The democratic structure within Cream fascinated John particularly. Nobody dominated. Everyone contributed equally to the creative process. This balance created their unique sound and volatile chemistry. Cream proved that supergroups could actually work when egos served the music. Their brief existence burned incredibly bright before internal tensions ended the experiment. John learned valuable lessons about collaboration and creative partnerships from their meteoric rise and fall. 3. The Who. The British rock explosion gave Elton John his wildest inspiration.
Don't try to put us down. My just because we.
Pete Townshend's songwriting ambition matched his own classical training and pop sensibilities. The Who proved rock could be theatrical without losing its edge. Their rock operas Tommy and Quadrophenia expanded what the genre could contain. Townshend dared to write extended narratives when most bands struggled with 3-minute singles. His courage to attempt something nobody else was doing impressed John tremendously. Keith Moon's drumming defied every convention. He played like an explosion happening in real time. John Entwistle's bass work was melodic and powerful simultaneously. Roger Daltrey's vocals carried Townshend's complex lyrics with perfect clarity. Together they created controlled chaos. Each member brought a distinct personality that made The Who more than the sum of their parts. Their chemistry was volatile, but utterly compelling to witness. Their live performances set standards that few could match. The energy they generated felt dangerous and exciting. John borrowed from their theatrical approach when designing his own concerts. The Who showed that spectacle and substance could coexist beautifully. Their concerts became events rather than just performances. John wanted his own shows to create similar unforgettable experiences for audiences. 2. Led Zeppelin. The British hard rock titans demonstrated how heavy music could also be mystical and beautiful.
Now I don't know, but I've been told a big leg woman ain't got no soul.
Jimmy Page's guitar orchestrations created sonic landscapes that transported listeners to different realms. Robert Plant's vocals soared with power and sensitivity that few could match. John Paul Jones anchored everything with bass and keyboard work that added depth and texture. John Bonham's drumming provided the thunderous foundation that made their sound so massive and overwhelming. Elton John marveled at their ability to blend blues, folk, and hard rock seamlessly. They took traditional musical forms and transformed them into something entirely new. Songs like Stairway to Heaven proved that radio hits could be 8 minutes long and build slowly. Led Zeppelin refused to follow conventional song structures or commercial expectations. Their artistic freedom inspired John to trust his own instincts regardless of industry pressures. Their mystique and refusal to play by industry rules fascinated John endlessly. Led Zeppelin rarely gave interviews or appeared on television, letting the music speak entirely. They built massive success through word of mouth and incredible live performances. Their approach proved that bands didn't need conventional promotion to reach audiences. John admired their confidence and independence in an industry that demanded conformity from most artists. 1. The Beatles. The Liverpool Quartet changed everything for everyone, including Elton John. He watched them on television as a teenager and immediately knew music would be his life.
Oh, they may be parting. There is still a chance that they will see.
Their impact on him was total and permanent. John never hid his Beatles worship. They represented the moment when British music conquered the world and made anything seem possible. Seeing 4 regular guys achieve global domination through pure talent gave John hope for his own dreams. Every Beatle contributed something essential. Paul McCartney's melodic genius, John Lennon's raw honesty, George Harrison's spiritual depth, and Ringo Starr's perfect simplicity combined into something magical. Their harmonies influenced John's own vocal arrangements constantly. Each member brought unique strengths that complemented the others perfectly. The Beatles proved that collaboration could elevate everyone involved to heights they couldn't reach alone. The Beatles' willingness to experiment while remaining accessible became John's model. They incorporated orchestras, Indian instruments, electronic effects, and countless innovations. Yet the songs always remained memorable and emotionally direct. That balance was incredibly difficult to achieve. The Beatles took risks that could have alienated audiences but instead brought listeners along on adventures. Their confidence to follow creative instincts wherever they led inspired John's own boldness. Their catalog provided endless inspiration. John could watch footage of them performing forever because they represented pure joy combined with serious ambition. The Beatles showed that you could be the biggest band in the world while still growing as artists. They remained Elton John's ultimate inspiration throughout his entire career. Their legacy taught him that commercial success and artistic integrity didn't have to be opposing forces. The Beatles made everything that came after them possible. These 7 acts shaped Elton John's musical identity completely. From the band's storytelling to the Beatles' innovation, from Aretha's emotion to Stevie's genius, each provided essential lessons. Together, they influenced one of music's most beloved performers. If you enjoyed discovering Elton John's favorite bands, subscribe to our channel for more music documentaries exploring rock history's greatest stories. Hit the notification bell, share this video with fellow music fans, and help us keep bringing these legendary tales to life.